welcome to another fun-filled episode of Do the Damn Thing, our weekly show where we talk to entrepreneurs who are actually doing it and see if we can pick their brain and get a lot of good information. This week, I am joined by our good friend Shannon. How are you, Shannon?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. So it's a funny story. As I was, stalking you, basically looking for people to interview, and I noticed your son's name was Kingston, and my
Yeah.
son's name is Kingston.
No
So
way.
immediately I was like, I like her. She's got great taste. And then from there, obviously, I looked at your content, and you talk a lot about purpose-driven brands and things like that, which we will get to. But really, really, what sparked my interest is your headline that says you went from the food bank to making bank. So I want to hear your story. Tell me what that means and what happened.
Oh my. Okay, fully loaded question here.
Yes.
So I'll back up a little bit. So I started out like I was in the corporate world and I transitioned into working for myself, not by choice. I was pregnant with Kingston actually, my first child, and I got laid off from my job. Beautiful thing though, they kept me on for mat leave because here in Canada we get a full year, so they paid for mat leave and my benefits and everything. So I had like a year basically paid to figure out what I was wanting to do from here. And what I did know is that I didn't want to go back to corporate world, but I didn't know what to do. And so I started out as I was like, I'm going to try the mommy blogger thing. And so I tried that. I did well. Like I was getting collaborations with big brands and it was great. But then I was like, I want something more. Like this isn't enough. It's not fully satisfying. And so I transitioned into being a social media manager. And throughout that time, it was great. I was getting clients. Four clients was a max that I could take because it's a lot to manage people's accounts. And I was just like slowly getting annoyed by clients. They weren't meeting deadlines. They were like I always had to chase them for stuff. But then when they needed something, they needed it right now.
Right now.
Yeah. I don't like that sort of environment. Like this is supposed to be a partnership. And yeah, so it just like I started to like resent them in a way, I guess. And eventually I naturally manifested all of these clients to poof, they all just left for different reasons. And so I was left with no clients. I was left with no money coming in. I had a
Mhm.
child. I was pregnant with my second one, and we were drowning financially because rent is super expensive.
Yeah, yeah, they like it when
Yeah.
you pay it. They like it when you pay it on time. They
Yeah.
every month they want that thing.
Totally, right? So we ended up moving out of our condo, and we moved in with my mom, and we just had to end up going to the food bank because I didn't have money coming in. We
Yeah,
had little kids, and
yeah.
what else do you do,
You are
right?
not
So
alone. I think that there's many people who've ended up there when they never thought they would, especially in the current climate. So no shame.
yeah, and that's a big thing there. It was like a huge stab to your ego. You're just like, I don't want anyone to know that I went to the food bank. I don't want like this is embarrassing. But it was just like survival mode. And from there, I really, I should say as well, like throughout that time, I transitioned into the coaching world, which is where I'm at right now.
Mhm.
And throughout this whole past 2 years that I've had my coaching business, I've had to really work on my inner self. And that has really what has brought me out from the bottom of the barrel to where I'm at today. So,
Wow. And now we didn't really. I was so interested in your food bank story, but we didn't
sorry.
really set everyone up for what you did or what you do. So you say you got into the coaching business, and that led you to what you do now. So tell everyone what you do. What is the Modern Hustle?
Yeah, so I'm an intuitive business coach, and so I help female entrepreneurs and service providers really solidify and take ownership and power of their mindset and energy and really incorporate that into their business strategy. Because I'm a firm believer that you cannot be too much hustle because that's when you see the burnout happen. And you can't be too much of the what I call flow in your head, in your feelings, because then you're not going to take the action. You really have to have the balance of the both in order for that happy marriage to happen, in order for you to see those results.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you wholeheartedly, but how did you figure that out? I mean, did you have a mentor or a coach that kind of showed you the way, or did you just stumble your way through it?
A bit of both. So when I was making the transition from social media manager into the coaching world, I was that period, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I want to do. What I do know is I just don't want to be a social media manager. And so I hired somebody, and that was like the worst experience of a coaching experience I've had. It was just terrible. And so I kind of just went blindly into everything, but I've always been kind of interested in the spiritual realm, like the
Mhm.
stars, the moon, the astrology. Like I've always just been interested in that stuff, and talking to, and then yes, I've hired coaches along the way for sure, because I'm a huge believer that every coach needs a coach because we don't know everything. We have to
Right.
learn as we go as well. And so yeah, I just started diving more into it, and just like on a personal level, I was just like, okay, I feel like I need to do meditation just to like calm the anxiety and just like zen out, right?
Right.
So I just started dabbling with it personally, and then that's just evolved into it flowing into how I run my business as well.
Nice, nice. Now, I should mention for those of us watching, we've had a couple comments pop on the screen. You can't see them, Shannon, but I see them going
Okay.
by. And we are live and we are interactive. So if there's anyone out there that has a question that they would like answered, feel free to just go ahead and put that in the chat. But until that comes through, I'm going to go ahead and ask you some questions of my own. Now, looking through your Instagram, which is beautiful, by the way,
Thank
kudos.
you.
One thing I've noticed is that you have a really great way of, and I'm going to show it here. You have a really great way of making picture. Do you always wear the same colors? Because everything on your feed has like the same color palette, but there's a lot of pictures of you. So I'm like, does she always wear colors on purpose that matches her palette for her Instagram feed, or am I just crazy?
You're
It
not
was
crazy. I'm
intentional.
probably crazy because that's my wardrobe. I'm very like, I'm not wild. I'm very like neutral when it comes to color palette. Like I love, like I'm just looking and I have like a gray hat, a cream hat, a black hat, and it's just like
Okay.
my
There's
wardrobe.
no fuchsia. There's no bright
No.
yellow. You're all in this zone, which looks beautiful. It makes for a beautiful Instagram page. I was like, is that intentional?
Well, the way it's nice that you point that out because that is like a big thing when it comes to like branding yourself online is like I get clients that ask me like, well, how do I know? Like, how do I make my page look cohesive? And I'm like, step one, look at your wardrobe.
Right.
What do you wear? What are the colors you wear? Are you colorful? If you are, then your Instagram page is going to be colorful. It's people tend to overthink that part.
Right. I mean, that's the first way to be authentic, right?
Yeah.
You're just wearing your own clothes. We've got a question from Charlie out there. She wants to know, speaking of your beautiful Instagram page, how do you make your photos so bright and airy? Do you use a filter?
Ooh, good question. So I do have a filter that I had my photographer create,
Oh, good.
but saying yeah, and but saying that, I've been steering away from using that, and I've just been using either filters on Instagram that match, but sometimes I'll just like take it into Lightroom, or you can even take it into Instagram. There's like a whole bunch of different
Mm-hmm.
apps on your phone that you can use, and you can just like brighten things up. But there's tons of filters out there. They're called presets that you can use. If
Nice.
you will like a specific look.
Nice, nice, nice. Now, another thing that I noticed scrolling your Instagram page is you have a product out there called the Purpose. Is it the Purpose Driven brand or the Purposeful Driven brand? Which is something that we talk about a lot at HipCat. How you have to kind of find your why and make sure you're doing it for the right reasons and make sure that you're passionate. All of the things, you know. So I want to hear about your product and what led you to developing it.
Mm. I love it that that's when you pointed out, because that one has a little something happening next week.
Oh,
So
good. Oh, good.
yeah. So the purpose-driven brand. So other than your mindset is so important, and I really say that that is the foundation of your business. You have to have a solid mindset. But other than that, your brand is your foundation of your business. You need to understand your why. You need to understand your purpose. You need to understand who your ideal client is. You can't have a brand that speaks to everybody because when you speak to everybody, you speak to nobody. So you really have to understand who that ideal client of yours is. You need to know them inside and out like they're your BFF.
Right.
And so that's really how that course came to be, is because I noticed that people were speaking to everybody, and you can't do
Right.
that. And
More
so
people, more sales, right? I mean, that's what I think people assume. Like, well,
uh, no.
everybody is good for my product, or my product is good for everybody.
Mhm.
And your purpose. You're absolutely right. I've got another question here about from Melissa. Do you ever use video? And if so, what do you use?
So I use video on Instagram and my Facebook group, but I don't do YouTube or anything like that. But video is massive. If people are not doing video, you've got to get on video. If you've noticed, like Instagram's come out with reels, and
Mm-hmm.
that is video. And Instagram or social media in general just favors video way, way more than your feed.
Right.
You should still use your feed, but you 1000% need to be on Instagram stories on a consistent daily basis.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to derail us. Let's get back to your. And I didn't realize. Tell me, you've got lots of products, but I want to talk about the one we were talking about, the
Yeah.
purpose driven brand. So it's a course.
Yeah, it's a course. It's a self-paced course, and it's like my four-step method to really getting clear, nailing down your niche, understanding your brand, and just having that solid foundation. So, yeah.
Oh, okay, awesome. And what other courses do you have? You've got quite a few. And what's the little something something happening? Can you tell us? Is it a
That's the
secret?
thing. It is a secret, but I'll tell you. I'll tell
Okay.
you guys. So
And
it's
the
my Black.
millions of people watching.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. So this is part of a Black Friday bundle that is coming out next week. So I have come up with, there's 7 of us entrepreneurs that have come together, and there's 7 courses in this one bundle for under $100. You're going to get it for Black Friday. So if you're on the email list, my email list, you get access to it early, which is Monday, and then it launches to the public on Wednesday. And the beauty of it all is you're basically paying for like one course and you get 7 of them, because that course alone is $97, but
Right.
you're getting 7 courses for $97.
Nice, nice, nice,
Yeah.
nice. Very good to hear. Well, and we'll plug all of her courses and things that she has available at the end, and we'll of course put all the links to find all of her goodies in the description below. Let's talk a little bit about like your day to day. Like, so when you were building this course and all of these courses and your brand as a whole, what's your day to day like now, and is it worlds apart from what you imagined it would be?
Yeah. Well, I got 2 small kids, so there's not one day that is the same. I'll just put that out there. But the one thing that I am very, very consistent on is I am up at 5:15 every single morning, and I get my morning ritual done. I call it my magic mornings, where I do meditation, some journaling, I practice gratitude. So that is what is consistent, along with movement of some sort, whether it's going for a long walk or whether it's like a quick and dirty workout. And then depending on the day, honestly, the rest of it is like maybe I'm doing interviews, or maybe I'm just working on content, or maybe I'm working on a course, or yeah. So it really,
Yeah.
my day to day differs, but that is the one thing that is consistent every day.
Right on. We've got a question from Curtis. He says, they say with purpose driven branding, you want to be more than just about selling stuff, right? What are some tips to doing that, to finding your purpose and to not being just another, crazy Eddie selling? That's a reference from New York. Some people don't get it, but just that guy selling things that you probably don't want.
Yeah, so that is really good. So you really need to go inward and like think way deeper than why do you want to start a business. It always goes beyond making money. We all know we all want to make money. That's why we have our own business, because we want to make money. But what is the deeper reason to wanting to start your own business?
Right.
Like for me, it was because like I've always loved helping people from like I used to go to Mexico every year when I was in high school and go to an orphanage, and we would help build something, we would help with the kids, and like I've just always loved that. And so for me, like I want to help other women in this world make a huge impact online,
Love it.
but by using their superpower, using their gifts. And I love so much like that domino effect that happens. So when I work with my clients, I'm creating that domino effect because I'm helping them help their clients, and their clients are going to help their clients. So it's like that beautiful domino effect. And it's just like, it's a circulation of knowledge and energy that's moving around, that we're all helping each other at the end of the day. And we're
Yeah,
making the world
absolutely.
better.
Yeah, absolutely. We always say, there's enough success for everyone. You don't
There
need
is.
to hoard it all. It's better
Yeah.
to give it away and watch it come back tenfold. So we are super eye to eye on that. Now, since the show obviously is about doing the damn thing, and potentially, people are watching who maybe are blocked, and they've got, I'm sure these are a lot of the people who you coach, right? Where they've got an idea, but they don't know how to take action, or they're not sure which step to take next. So what was that first step like for you? Like, how did you get your first clients, and how are you now getting clients?
Mm. I got my first clients through Instagram.
Great.
Yeah. And I started super, super small. I was just like, okay, I'm going to take them through and teach them how to use Instagram as a marketing tool. And each week we're going to go through how to use different pieces within Instagram to reach that end result that they want.
Right.
What I do now is like so much more and way more complex than that. We use like I teach Instagram marketing still, but it goes beyond that. It's more like strategy. So I just honestly, I was like, hey, what am I good at? What do people come to me for? I'm going to do that. And I'm just going to go for it. You just have to jump, and
Just
you
do
just have
it.
to do. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we
Yeah.
say. Just do the damn thing. I
Yeah.
saw you were
Totally.
doing a few posts on it was like 3 tips: segmentation, targeting, and positioning, right? Isn't that something you talk about?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm assuming that you then use those strategies on your own, is in addition to preaching them. Does that help you get your own clients?
Totally. I only preach what I do.
Good. That's good. What are you most proud of in your newfound career?
Mm, not giving up.
Do you
Not
find
giving up.
that do you find that when you're coaching people, a lot of people want to give up
Mhm.
harder than they thought?
Yeah, it's really hard, especially if you have like significant other, or you have a family. Like it's so much pressure on you to like make the money and do the damn thing and actually see those results happen.
Right.
But the only way you're going to that's why you have to keep going back to your why. And that's why you need to understand what your why is.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going back to your why and going back to that. When you want to give up, you got to go back to that, and you're going to be like, no, like I got this, and I just got to keep moving forward. Because a lot of people get overwhelmed. And when
Right.
you get overwhelmed, then you want to give up. But you just have to take it one step at a time, and just, yeah, always go back to that root reason.
And do you have a formula or a process to help people find their why?
Yeah, it's in the purpose driven brand.
Of course it is. Of course it is. Aaron's got a question here. He says, when marketing on Instagram, what are the most important things to track? And do you have any tools that make it easy? I know a lot of us are so into like the vanity metrics, like, oh my God, I got 700 likes. But what do you find is important?
Yeah, stop looking at the likes.
Stop the likes.
Especially like I've had this conversation all week with some of my like online biz friends. And Instagram algorithm is so different now, and it's so like nobody understands it. But the two most important things, if you're going to look at metrics, are the amount of shares that you have and the amount of people that are saving your content. Because the saving, which looks like that little bookmark in the corner,
Yep.
that's what I call a super save. So the more saves that you have, it pushes through the algorithm to Instagram that this content people are interested in, they want it, and they're going to share it to more people, and you have the higher chance of going viral. So those would be the couple metrics I would look at, because those are things that you can control.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you get a save, and my heart goes a flutter every time we get a save, because I'm like, wow, that's big time there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's really easy for someone to just hit the like button, which is probably why on the hierarchy of weightness, that's a word now, The way that the Instagram algorithm works, where it is the least valued of the engagement options, where a share is awesome. It's obviously Instagram is a huge part of your personal marketing. Are any other platforms integral for you? Do you use Facebook a lot?
Yeah, I do use Facebook a lot. I have my own Facebook group as well. So I bring tons of value each week to that, because those people that are in your group, they've chosen to be in your group, just like the people that follow you on Instagram, they've chosen. But your Facebook group is a little bit more tight knit, and so those people are super interested. So they're more of like a warm lead. So by the time you go to sell to them, they're more likely to buy. And then of course, email marketing. If you're not doing email marketing, you have to do email marketing, because you have to remember that you don't own your social media platforms.
Right.
Those can be taken away in a heartbeat, but you do own your email list. So as much as you can, like, funnel people through to your email list, so you always have those people to connect back to.
So you're always actively building your, I mean, everyone says the money is in the list, but I think that's a term that only marketers are maybe familiar with. So do you have specific ways that or things that you do to grow your list?
Yeah, totally. So giving out freebies.
Yep.
So handing out freebies to people. Of course, there have to be freebies that are bringing value to your audience, where they can actually apply it to their business and actually start seeing results. That is like the golden ticket. So I love doing video series freebies. I actually have a lead gen video, how to generate more leads. I have a 3-part video series, and that was like a huge hit. 2 reasons: people are able to watch you, they get to hear you, they get to know, like, and trust you.
Yeah.
And then they're also able to apply those things to their business so that they can start seeing the results. Yeah.
Right on. Now you've got thousands and thousands of visitors. You've got followers. Sorry, at least on Instagram, I think you're at like almost 8,000 visitors. Or why do I keep saying visitors? Followers. 8,000 followers. How long did it take you to get to 8,000 followers? Like, and what is a good growth rate? Like, for people just starting out, how long can they expect for it to take them to get to 8,000?
Depends how active you are on Instagram. Like, for me, it because I have pivoted my business like 3 times now.
Yeah.
I'd say my growth is a lot slower, but I would say, what was I at? 4 years ago, I was at just under 2,000, I would say. So it's a slower growth, but if you're active and you are consistently engaging with people, you're consistently bringing value to people, you could easily bring in 500 minimum a month of new followers.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Now, you've obviously got a ton of content. You've got your freebies, and you got your courses, and you got your videos. You've only rattled off a few. I'm sure there's a laundry list of content that we haven't even touched upon. Did you launch with a pretty good arsenal of content, or did you have like one thing?
I had nothing.
You had nothing.
Nothing.
What were you selling? Just your smile?
Yeah, I just was selling. I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to try and sell one-on-one packages. And that's what I did.
Really? So you were like, hey, I'll teach you.
Yeah.
I have no credibility. I have no best-selling book, but I'm going to teach you. And it worked. That's amazing. And I don't think you're alone in that story. I think that's amazing. I mean, it must have been scary, I would think, at first, going out there and proclaiming yourself an expert.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel like a fraud sometimes, for sure. And then imposter syndrome comes up, and you got to deal with all of those feelings. But
what's imposter syndrome?
Oh, it's like you are limiting yourself. You're telling yourself you're not good enough. Like those sorts of negative thoughts, negative feelings.
False beliefs, limiting beliefs. Got it.
Yeah. And so you just have to remember, the people that you're helping are not in your shoes right now. They are 6 months to a year ago behind you, and they're trying to catch up to you. So those are the people that you're helping, because you are teaching them how to get from where they're at to where you're at. And the more that you grow, they're just coming along with you, right? So, yeah.
That's awesome.
And a lot of people get lost in the noise on Instagram social media, I'll say, because they're like, that coach is doing this, and she's making this, and she's doing this, and they're looking at that where you shouldn't be looking at that. You got to be looking at what you have, what your superpowers are now, and helping those people that are behind you that want to get forward.
Right. So really, you only have to be 1 or 2 steps ahead, right? You
Yeah.
don't have to know it all, which is
No.
another, another call to action for those of you watching to just do it, right? You don't have to have the master's degree. You just have to have one more college course than that, than the
Yeah.
guy behind you. Speaking of the people watching and the name of the show, for those people just wanting to start out, besides reaching out to you as a personal coach, what advice do you have for them? What would you say to them? Run fast and go get a job in corporate America?
No. No, I would say like sit down and just really think about, journal, write it all down, like do whatever you need to do, but think about what does your ideal dream life look like? What does your day to day look like? What do you want to be doing? What does your social life look like? Like think about every aspect of your life and what does that dream life look like, and then think about what you can do to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Majority of the people, when I ask that question to, it's not go back to a 9 to 5 or go to the corporate world. Nobody ever says that.
No.
They want to be working for themselves. They want freedom. They want time freedom. They want financial freedom. Like there's all of these things. So what can you do now that you are passionate about, that you love, that has helped you as a human get from point A to point B, that you can then help other people do the same thing?
Love it. Love it. I love your message. And that's why I reached out to you. I was like, this girl's got good stuff to say. Another thing that we talk a lot about at HipCat Society is niching down. You know, is there, and we've touched on it even today. So do you serve a specific niche or a specific genre or industry, or are you just at more of like a specific level of entrepreneur?
I specifically like to help coaches
Oh,
and service providers. Yeah. Because what I specialize in is we create, like, I will teach you how to craft an offer, launch your offer, market it, warm up your audience, like all of the things in between. And that's when the strategy comes into play. And so that's specifically what I do. Like, yeah,
yeah.
I
Awesome.
could help anybody, but that is what I love to do. Like I love helping people launch things because
Exciting.
it's exciting. And that's when you start to see like the money roll in, and that's when you just see so much transformation in other people's lives. And yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. We are just about out of time, but I wanted to obviously find out what's next for you. What are you building? What are you working on now? What can people expect to hear from you?
Ooh, so I have my new signature program coming out in 2021. I don't have an exact date yet, but it'll be early. And that is it's the Modern Hustle Business School, and it's teaching you exactly the mindset, the energy work, and how to incorporate that into your strategy. So I'll teach you how to launch, craft, sell your offer, sales psychology, like all of the goodness that you need to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
That's the next biggest thing that I have. So
Do you do, I'm sorry if you answered this, but is it one-on-one? Because at one point you mentioned it was self-driven, like you go at your own pace. Do you offer one-on-one coaching?
well, I do it all.
Of course you do. Yeah. You're a modern woman.
So I do have like the Purpose Driven Brand is a self-paced course. I have an Instagram course that's a self-paced course. And then my signature program is a group program that's group coaching calls. But then I do one-on-one coaching as well. So it depends on what stage you're at, how serious you are,
Right.
what your goals are. And then I would direct you towards what is the best fit for you.
Right. You got to meet them where they are, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I want to give you a chance to tell everybody where they can find you, get in touch with you, and all of the amazing products we mentioned today, plus I'm sure a ton we didn't. So where can they find you?
Yeah, so the best place to find me would be on Instagram. So it's at shannonheth. And from there, I can direct you. Or you can find me on Facebook too at the Modern Hustle Facebook group. And
is it
from there
free to join?
Yeah, it's totally free.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. I'm sending love from my Kingston to your Kingston. Who is this older? How old is your Kingston?
4.
Oh, mine's 6. So technically I thought of it first. I mean, I'm just saying. All right. Well, I've had a blast talking to you. Thank you so much. And everyone looking to get in touch with her, we'll have all the links below. And we'll see you next week. Actually, we won't. It's Thanksgiving. We'll see you the week after. Happy holidays.
Bye.